Duckworth's best-selling book, Grit. She documents the biggest differentiating factor between successful people and unsuccessful people. And you'd be surprised. It had nothing to do with knowledge, skill, access to money or resources. It was quite surprising. And that's what we're going to unravel in today's episode. My name is Jarvis, and I go live every single day to help people maximize their time so they can maximize their life. And go ahead and subscribe. Right now, you should see a little red square right there where you can kind of pet it a little bit or just kind of caress it. And that way you'll get notified whenever I go live, so you can learn all these tips, tricks, and hacks of how you can get the most out of life. In the book Grit, she details that she followed thousands of students as they kind of progressed through life, and she wanted to know what were the things that separated the students that went off to do amazing and great things and had these very high achievements in life from those that kind of settled into this mundane existence. And she wanted to see what were the differentiating factors. Did it come down to their household income? Did it come down to their path in life, the schools they went to? And she wanted to see what exactly was it, because she pinpointed one common thread across all those that succeeded and the common thread across those that didn't. And here's the thing she noticed, which was quite surprising. It had nothing to do with their background, with their makeup, how well they scored on exams, and their knowledge and wisdom. It had nothing to do with any of that. It had everything to do with this one thing. It's a mindset. And she called it grit. Grit was just this resilience factor, this fortitude, this perseverance. Grit is the ability to push through hard things, to not give up at the first sign of defeat, to not let obstacles slow you down. And so when she broke it down that way, even those students that scored the lowest on the exams and came from less favorable conditions actually were able to still succeed when they had that grit. She wrote an entire book about it. It became her life's work and thesis, and it was this freeing, this liberation that it doesn't matter where you come from. It doesn't matter your current circumstances. As long as you've got a grit to you, then you can achieve the same level of success. Doesn't that sound like, how exciting is that? That nothing is holding you back.
Oh, back in the river, let me look in your eyes.
But you. And so the question becomes, how do you get grit? Like, how do you increase your grit factor? And quite frankly, grit is just leaning in and doing hard things even when you don't want to, even when they're hard, even when it's difficult, even when it's not convenient for you. How do you push through? Even when your motivation is low, how do you still show up even when you don't want to? And what I have found is there are many different ways that you can try to build this discipline for yourself, but the easiest way to build more grit and fortitude is when you have outside pressure. And quite frankly, when you have other people holding you accountable, that is the best way that I've found to get yourself to show up even when you don't want to. For instance, I wake up at 4 a.m. right now. I've been doing it for years. And when I first went on this journey to try to start waking up earlier so I can have more time and more space and freedom in my day, I have a wife and kid at home, a 2-year-old son, and he's amazing, but they demand a lot. Yay! My job demands a lot. I found that I wasn't having enough time for myself. I would just wake up running right into the chaos, and I wanted to build in an extra buffer into my day. And so I committed to starting to get up early, at least 1 hour before my family get up, so I can have that time for myself. But it was tough, and I would often let myself off the hook, and it was just hard. And I would look over at the alarm clock, and I would hit the snooze button and curl right back up into my comfy position just because I just didn't feel like it. What I had to do was I had to create some outside pressure. So I signed up for a 5 a.m. spin class at this spin studio near my house, and I paid a lot of money for it. And what I did was, by paying for it in advance, now it forced me to do it. It forced me to show up. And so every day my alarm would go off. I would look at my alarm. My first instinct was, no, I'm not getting up. But then I would think, oh no, I got to get to that class because I already paid for it. I'm not going to waste my money. And so that class held me accountable. It was an outside force that held me accountable to showing up to do this thing that I didn't want to do. And I did that class for 2 months. And after 2 months, I had built the discipline, and then I didn't need the class anymore. Now I get up before my alarm clock every day. I don't need that outside pressure anymore, but I needed it at the beginning to help me build the grit. And so the question becomes, how can you build your own grit? How can you create some sort of outside pressure to do and lean into the things that you don't want to do? And oftentimes that requires other people, whether it's for your business. Do you have someone that's holding you accountable to showing up every day for your business, to do the things that you don't want to do for your business? Do you have someone hold you accountable for your health and fitness? Maybe a friend or a class like I had to do, where I signed up for a class. Do you have some sort of outside people, groups, or structure that will hold you accountable so that even when your motivation is low, even when you don't feel like it, even when it gets hard, you have something or a group of people that now that they're going to help prop you up to keep you going even when the resistance is tough. What I found is the greatest key to building your own internal grit is to have some sort of outside pressure, outside structure, outside group that will keep you moving when times get tough. And in fact, that's kind of what we built at the Morning Hero. We built these accountability groups just for that, where every day you can link up with other people that will help push you to do the things that you don't want to do. Every day you've got to do your top 3 biggest actions because the group is expecting it of you. And so that's the power of having groups that you can join that will hold you accountable, so that it builds your grit. And over time, maybe you don't need it down the line, but at the beginning you will, when your body starts to resist doing the hard things that you don't want to do. And if you're looking for some accountability like that, there should be a link down here below this video where you can sign up for a meeting where you can talk directly with me, and I'll tell you all about that. So the scheduling link should be down there below to help you build your grit. And once you build your grit, you have access, the same percentage of success as other people that have way more money, access, and connections than you do. You got the same percentage of success as they do. Build your grit. And let me know what you think. And if you haven't subscribed by now, go ahead. If this blessed you some way, go ahead and caress that button over there. And that way you can see me more often, and I can help you on your journey. All right, this is Jarvis, encouraging you to do more, be more, and achieve more than you ever have before. Now it's your turn, hero. Go out there and save the world, and I'll see you in the next video.